Saturday late morning. You're lying on the cold bathroom floor having a long, heartfelt conversation with the toilet. Your head is an anvil. Your mouth tastes like something crawled in overnight and didn't clean up after itself. And the most humiliating part? You barely drank anything. 2 drinks. Back at 20, that was your warm-up before you even made it to the bar, and you'd still bounce up the next morning like nothing happened. Today, your entire plan for the day is to survive until the moment you're allowed to eat again. Your whole life, you've been sure it's just age. The older you get, the nastier the hangover. That's how it works. And everyone around you nods along. But what if you've had it backwards this entire time, and the truth is the exact opposite? And who exactly did this to you in a single night? This crime has suspects, 4 of them to be exact. We're going to track down each one, starting with the one you'd never suspect in a million years. Suspect number 1 is water. Sounds ridiculous, but stick with me. Alcohol spreads through the water in your body and barely touches the fat. Toss a spoonful of salt into a big bucket of water and you'd hardly taste it. Toss that same spoonful into half a glass and it's straight up brine, undrinkable. Same amount of salt. The water is what makes the difference. When you're young, you're the bucket. As the years go by, your muscle quietly shrinks, fat moves in to take its place, and there's less and less water in you. The bucket turns into that half a glass. Now there's nothing to dilute those same 2 drinks with, so more alcohol ends up in your blood. And it stings. You didn't change a thing. Same crowd, same drinks. And yet it hits you like you're a freshman at your first college party. Your body quietly cut its own water supply and raised the stakes on you. And that's not enough for the little crook. Alcohol also sends you running to the bathroom all night, flushing out whatever water you had left. You wake up like a dried out raisin, mouth like a desert, temples pounding. That first glass of water in the morning, you gulp it down like your life depends on it. But water is small time. All it does is hand the alcohol off to the real boss, the one who's supposed to clean up this whole mess. The boss who, with age, has started phoning it in. Meet the liver. Suspect number 2 and also your only hope. It breaks booze down in 2 steps. First, it turns the alcohol into a nasty thing called acetaldehyde, a substance dozens of times more toxic than the alcohol itself. While it's loose inside you, you feel sick, your heart races, your face goes red, and the next morning it sits in your throat and makes you gag at the smell of coffee. Then, the liver has to finish it off and turn it into a harmless leftover. Backing it up the whole time is an emergency reserve. Let's call it the liver's first aid kit. The problem is that kit is tiny. The more you drink, the faster it empties, and once it's gone, the acetaldehyde runs wild through your entire body. At 20, your liver handled all this in a snap, but with age, a third less blood reaches it, the organ itself shrinks, the enzymes move like a cashier 1 minute before closing, and it cleans the same drink far more slowly. The poison hangs around in you for extra hours. Looks like we found our guy, but even a perfect liver wouldn't save you, because the dirtiest robbery of all happens while you're passed out. Meet suspect number 3. You think booze knocks you out cold. In reality, it's not sleep, it's a cheap knockoff. Your body's lying there, eyes shut, but the deepest stage, the one where it actually repairs itself, barely switches on. The night gets torn into scraps, your nerves stay on guard till morning, and you get up just as wrecked as you went down. You know the classic move. Waking up at 4 in the morning with your heart pounding, staring at the ceiling, counting cracks until the alarm goes off, that's it right there. Now add age. That deep stage almost disappears on its own by midlife, even without a drop of alcohol. There's barely any of it left. When you're young, the booze nibbles a piece out of a rich, full night. Now there's almost nothing left to nibble, and your innocent little drink takes the last crumbs of repair. That's why the next morning, you're not just headachy. You're a walking zombie, foggy, losing your train of thought mid-sentence, snapping at the smallest thing. Your coworkers think you're deep in thought. Really, you're trying to remember your own name. And that's the easy part. Hiding underneath sleep is the 4th suspect, the one who set your body on fire before you even raised your first glass. Alcohol starts a fire in your body. Inflammation. Signals spread through you that make your muscles ache, your head swim, and nausea creep in. Don't believe those signals are the culprit? In one experiment, people were given those exact signals, stone cold sober, without a drop of alcohol. And they were hit with a full-blown hangover, nausea and brain fog and all, like they'd been out partying all night, which means a good chunk of your misery is staged by the inflammation itself. The alcohol just pulled the trigger. In a young body, this fire has to be lit first. It flares up and dies down. But your body is already smoldering in the background by the evening, and every drink is a match tossed into dry hay. And the older you are, the drier the hay. The arsonist has an accomplice, your brain. All evening, alcohol gently pressed the brake and muffled the gas. The second it leaves, the pedals swap places. The brakes give out, the gas floors it, and you're hit with that pointless morning dread. You lie there, replaying who you texted last night and wondering if it's time to change your name and flee the country. That's just yesterday's chemistry wearing off. And the last accomplice comes straight from real life. After 65, nearly 8 out of 10 drinkers are on pills that don't get along with alcohol. And that very pill you take for your morning headache lands one more hit on your already exhausted liver. The rescuer turns out to be just another robber. Line all 4 of them up: water, liver, sleep, and the fire. The case is airtight, the evidence is overwhelming. With age, the hangover has to turn into pure hell. Except the jury came back with the exact opposite verdict. With age, the hangover gets milder. The people who suffer from it the most are actually the 20-somethings. And that shows up across 50,000 people who were honestly asked about it. Crazy? Only until you realize we've been mixing up 2 different things this whole time. How much your body takes and how much you actually feel. Your body takes more and more every year. The shallow water, the slow liver, the gutted sleep are all still there, and every drink lands harder. But what you feel isn't the damage. It's only the part that makes it up to your awareness. And here's where habit kicks in. A brain that's seen this alcohol 100 times responds to it more and more quietly, and to unpleasant signals in general, maybe even to pain. It slowly goes deaf. More piles onto you on the inside, and less reaches your head. Your body's like an old house with faulty wiring. The blaze is bigger, but the smoke alarm is dying and barely chirping. That's why the most dramatic "I'm Dying" concert is performed by the young, the ones with the least actual damage, plus a simple real-life cruelty. You don't get to lie around for a whole day anymore. Work kids 100 things to do, and the same breakdown hurts more, just because you have to ride it out on your feet. Nobody's canceling your meeting because you overdid it last night. And here's the most honest part of the whole story. Science already knows almost everything about your night, and it still doesn't understand why 2 people the same age can go through the very same morning so differently. So next Friday, when 2 innocent drinks steal your whole weekend again, don't rush to write yourself off as a wreck. Your body is taking more punishment now than it did when you were young, and it patches itself up slower. It's just almost forgotten how to scream about it. It used to wail over a scratch and heal up overnight like it was nothing. Now it carries real damage in silence with a straight face. And here's what comes out of all this. The worst hangover of your life wasn't today. You caught it somewhere around 20, back when you were tougher than you'd ever be, and you'd already forgotten about it by that same evening. These days you're taking more. You just barely hear it anymore.